Some people grow up believing they are strong, independent, and self-made. They rarely complain, they handle things alone, they do not like to ask for help, and everyone around them praises them for it. But what people do not see is that this kind of strength is often learned too early. Some adults are not shaped by what happened to them. They are shaped by what never happened. Nobody checked in, nobody noticed the silence, nobody stayed long enough to understand what they were feeling, and because nothing dramatic happened, they were never allowed to call it pain. Neglect is quiet, it does not scream, it does not leave obvious marks, it looks like food on the table, but no emotional safety. It looks like parents who were there physically but absent emotionally. It looks like being told to be strong when what you needed was comfort. Over time, the child stops asking, stops expecting, stops trusting that someone will show up, and that child grows up. As adults, neglect often shows up in subtle ways that are easy to misunderstand. It can look like emotional independence, but underneath it is fear of needing people. It can look like calmness, but underneath it is emotional numbness. It can look like maturity, but underneath it is a child who learned early that their feelings did not matter enough to be held. Many adults who experience neglect struggle to rest. They feel guilty receiving care. They feel uncomfortable when someone shows consistent love. Peace feels unfamiliar, sometimes even boring. Chaos feels more natural because that is what their nervous system learned to survive. Some people become emotionally hungry. They overgive. They stay too long. They tolerate disrespect just to feel chosen. Being seen feels like oxygen because they grew up unseen. Others do the opposite. They pull away when things get close. They test people. They disappear emotionally, not because they do not care, but because closeness was never safe for them growing up. This is why neglect is so confusing. There is no clear memory to point to, no single event to explain why you feel the way you do. So many people end up invalidating themselves. They say things like my childhood was fine or others had it worse or I am just too sensitive. But pain does not need permission to exist. Absence can hurt just as deeply as harm. The hardest part about neglect is that it teaches you who to be before you ever get to choose. It shapes how you love, how you attach, how you respond to conflict, how you see yourself in relationships. And because it was quiet, you often think something is wrong with you, instead of realizing something was missing. Here is the truth that changes everything. Neglect is not your fault. You were a child, you adapted, you survived the only way you knew how. But awareness is where responsibility begins, not responsibility for the neglect, but responsibility for healing what it shaped. Once you understand that your reactions have a history, you stop seeing yourself as broken. You start seeing yourself as patterned, and patterns can be unlearned. Slowly, gently, and without shame. Healing from neglect does not look dramatic. It looks like learning to receive without guilt. It looks like allowing yourself to need people. It looks like choosing safety even when chaos feels familiar. It looks like staying present when your instinct is to shut down. And if this video feels like it is describing you, that is not a coincidence. It means you are becoming aware, and awareness is not weakness. It is the beginning of change.